Hello student, Subject Database Management System prepared by S. Mino Shamli, Assistant Professor, Department of AML in Rogni College of Engineering and Technology. Unit 4, Transaction. Transaction concept. Transaction is a set of operations which are logically related or a single unit of work formed by a set of operations. There are some operations in the transactions to access and modify the database. First, read operation. Read operation is to read the particular database and store it in the buffer temporarily of the main memory. Example, in a bank account, you are checking the balance. It is the read operation. Next, write operation. Write operations store the updated data from the main memory back to the database. Example, withdrawing a money from the bank. Next, commit operation. It is used to maintain integrity in the database. Example, transferring a money from the bank. Rollback operation. Rollback undoes all changes made by a transaction if any occurs or restoring in the database. Next example, money transfer process get any issues and insufficient fund by the sender's account. Next, transaction state. The transaction state is a life cycle of the transaction. It has different states. This transaction is called transaction state. They are active state, partially committed state, next failed state, aborted state, lost state is the terminated state. First, active state. This is the first state of the life cycle in the transaction. A transaction is called a active state when the first execution happened in the transaction and it is storing in the buffer main memory. Next, partially committed state. After the execution of the active state, the transaction executing to the next state of the state is the partially committed state. In this state, the execution happened partially. It is not considered fully committed because any changes made by the transaction and it is still stored in the buffer main memory. After the partially committed state, it comes to the committed state. In the committed state, all the changes made by the transaction have been successfully stored in the database. Now the transaction is considered to be a fully committed state. Next, failed state. When the transaction is executing in the active state or any partially state, if some failures occurs, it becomes the failed state. Then it will enter to the failed state. Next, aborted state. Aborted state means any execution happened failed state, it entered to the aborted state, or execution have any error occurs, it come to the aborted state and it roll back the transaction completely. Next, terminated state. It is the last state in the life cycle of the transaction. This state ended after the committed state or aborted state of the transaction execution. After the execution happened in the committed state, if any not error occurs in the transaction, it come to the terminate state, or any aborted state happen, it come to the it roll back the process, then it come to the terminated state. It is the final state of the termination state and it the life cycle the transaction completed. Thank you.